Straight ahead on CCX News, super business due to the Super Bowl. See how local hotels are cashing in. Plus, perspective on sex trafficking, how Hennepin County is working to address the problem. But first, a Department of Health investigation that puts a New Hope nursing home at fault for a Plymouth man's death. CCX News starts right now. Says an error at a New Hope nursing home facility is the reason for a patient's death. A resident at Northridge Health and Rehabilitation was found dead last April. According to the investigation, the patient was given a dosage of the painkiller Oxycodone that was 20 times too strong. In the report's findings, the nurse said she did not verify the concentration and dose of the oxycodone administered because she was very busy with multiple patients. The report also found that Northridge didn't have proper procedures in place for administering high-risk medications. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner identified the resident as 53-year-old Gary Schmidt of Plymouth. Schmidt was at Northridge for short-term rehabilitation while receiving treatment for cancer and chronic pain. Northridge was ordered to pay an undisclosed fine and has since made corrections to its procedures for administering medications. Well, some tense moments Wednesday morning for Representative Eric Paulsen and other Republican congressional leaders. They were aboard an Amtrak train headed to a retreat in West Virginia when the train struck a garbage truck. Paulsen was not hurt. However, the driver of the truck was killed and another badly injured. The incident happened in the small town of Crozet, Virginia. It's about 15 miles west of Charlottesville. 100 Republican lawmakers were on the train when the accident occurred, and Congressman Paulsen described the scene.
On the train when it hit, and so I think the front is pretty smashed up. But no, I'm okay. Everyone else is pretty much okay on the train, thankfully. But I think our prayers need to be with those who are outside because it's a lot more serious, and I think a fatality, unfortunately.
Meanwhile, Congressman Paulsen says he's encouraged by President Trump's State of the Union address.
The tone of the State of the Union the president's speech was good, and we just got to keep him off of Twitter. So, and follow through and make sure that we're bringing people together and cooperating and getting things done bipartisanly.
As heroes who deserve our total and
sides of the aisle is immigration. Representative Paulsen says the #1 priority should be finding a solution for DACA. The program allows for people who came to the U.S. illegally as minors to be protected from immediate deportation.
There are some of us that believe in providing those DACA protections. I'm one of those. We need broader bipartisan support to get that done, and to continue to I think voice support in getting that fixed first, and not let other immigration issues tie this down and weight it down.
Congressman Keith Ellison is also reacting to the speech. He posted this message on Twitter. Since Nixon and the Southern strategy, the Republican tactic, he says, has been to sow fear and division among American people while funneling wealth to the rich. We saw that same strategy on full display in Trump's speech last night. The lawmakers have a March 5th deadline on which to reach a deal on DACA. Well, thousands of people are in town this week for Super Bowl festivities, and conventional wisdom would suggest that there would be also an uptick in sex trafficking. But a group of local experts say that's not the case.
And what we found is that Super Bowl is not unique. There is a slight uptick of ads that are placed online, but it's not any more significant than any other large event where there's an influx in people in your city.
Amanda Kunj-Bahari of Hennepin County helps lead a group that's working to address sex trafficking. And while she says that there's not a huge uptick during the Super Bowl, sex trafficking is a problem that we have to deal with in Minnesota every day of the year.
We've had a couple of campaigns that are out there. One is called I Am Priceless. The other one is called Don't Buy It Project. And they're both based by nonprofit providers who are doing this work and on the ground. We're looking at fundraising for the plan so that there are available resources if we do encounter youth or adults during that time.
And tomorrow on CCX News, we'll meet a Hopkins high school student and show you how she's working on the issue of sex trafficking. Well, Super Bowl week is expected to be a windfall for the Twin Cities, including the northwest suburbs. And as Eric Nelson reports, that's especially true for local hotels.
It's one of the largest sporting events in the world. It's a level 1 as far as how it's considered for security and such. So for us, I think it's an event like we have not seen.
Get ready for the Super Crush.
Fabulous impact.
Fans are flocking to the Bold North for Super Bowl 52. This colossal event will have a major impact on the northwest suburbs.
There's no price tag on it. We're meeting people from all over the world and all different groups that are coming to experience this.
Local hotels are jammed because of this football extravaganza, and rooms are scarce.
So a lot of the rooms have been accounted for since we first got the bid, and then the other rooms honestly have been accounted for by other sources for months.
There's only a few available in the city.
This week, the Twin Cities is the center of the NFL universe. The entire metro area had to guarantee 17,000 hotel rooms just to get the Super Bowl, meaning many fans would be staying in the burbs.
If you're an NFL fan coming to the Twin Cities to be part of this Super Bowl scene, but you don't have a room yet, be ready to fork out a lot of dough.
You're going to pay $500 to $700 a night, and typically a 4-night minimum.
Hotels will be mostly full of passionate New England and Philadelphia fans, but there might be some famous folks showing up too.
We've seen some celebrity sightings. I can't say who though.
Of course, there is a caveat during this profitable week for those in the lodging business. Hotel employees have to be kind to those evil Eagles fans.
Yeah, we do. We do. No, it's been fun. No one's rubbed it in too bad yet.
Minnesota nice, baby.
In Maple Grove, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
Brooklyn Park Middle School students and police officers got a chance to take part in a Super Bowl event designed to build bridges between police and the communities they serve.
What's the difference between you and him? Older. He's older. I like the duh you added on the end. He's older. Okay.
It was age and experience versus youth and energy. Team building exercises included trying to carry balloons across the finish line together without dropping them. More than 30 students from Brooklyn Middle School and 4 Brooklyn Park police officers took part in the event.
Talking and communicating is really good because it can help you in life. Talking, if you don't know nobody and you talk to them, it can help you and you can become a new friend with them.
We gotta understand that they are kids and then they understand that we're people too. We just sit there and talk with them, and then one kid's like, "Why aren't you in uniform?" I said, "Because I want to play today." So he's like, "Oh, okay." Then we end up racing. So
don't let it drop, don't let it drop.
That's the biggest thing, is that we're all people. We can get along. We don't always wear a uniform.
Students and cops also took part in football drills and got a pep talk from 2018 Hall of Fame linebacker Ray Lewis. Still ahead, our interview with the Maple Grove lawmaker about his priorities for the upcoming legislative session. Plus, Champlin Park's boys basketball team shoots for another win. We'll have highlights later in sports. But first, Super Brr. Thursday, we stay in the single digits. With the legislative session just around the corner, we'll be interviewing local lawmakers over the next few weeks about their priorities. Representative Dennis Smith of Maple Grove says his list includes updates to the 911 system and completion of the 610 freeway.
610 is 25% connected to 94, and the result of only the 25% connection is creating huge traffic problems. This has been going on for 45 years. It has a significant regional impact as well as a hospital. It's causing more traffic problems the way it is. We need to fully connect 610 to 94. It needs to be done. 45 years is enough.
Another priority is the 911 phone system, which has been around a long time. Changes need to be made, but as you make the changes, some other problems occur. What's going on?
Exactly. With the advent of technology, the language in statute, it no longer reflects all the different ways to contact the 911 system. So we need to redefine what it is and the language with it, and it's creating a lot of controversy. There's been a lot of stakeholder work session meetings, and the bill is very exciting, but we need to bring our language and law up to date with the current technology.
Here's one you don't think about very much: notaries. And these are people who are licensed to verify your signatures on legal documents, but some changes may be coming there.
We're revolutionizing how, I'm hoping to, how you can notarize a document using the internet. They're using this in some other countries. We're leading in our country. We'd be the first state to do this, and it's going to make businesses more efficient and be very consumer friendly. You can get the ultimate goal is to get a notary right from your own kitchen table.
So you wouldn't have to be in front of a notary in person.
Exactly. All you need is connection to the internet.
This one, you admit, might be controversial. This is a public-private partnership for financing public works projects. What is this all about?
Right. This is another example. We're leading the nation in this idea. It's a way to bring more financing to public projects as well as private projects by not increasing our debt load through the bonding system and not using money out of our regular budget system. And it really, we have such an infrastructure need in our state, not only for the completion of 610, but many other roads and bridges and other public work projects, private as well. And this mechanism would allow more financing in the system in a way without adding additional strain to the budget or the bonding process.
Does that financing come then from private sector?
Yeah, it comes partially from the private sector with some backing by the government, but it's different than a normal bonding backing. And it's very new and it's controversial and it's very exciting. It's really good for Minnesota.
Okay, we'll see what happens with that. One other item is road salt, and or not just road salt, but also salt that people would put on sidewalks and that kind of thing. What are you thinking?
We're using too much salt. It's having a major deleterious impact on the quality of our lakes and rivers, particularly here in the metro. So the bill would decrease the amount of salt that you can put on a road, which still keeping the road safe, but then allowing some tort reform so businesses can't be held accountable for these trial attorneys that are just trying to capitalize on issues that really aren't issues.
And still ahead, Super Bowl visitors get a little navigating help from the new Hope mayor. But first, Cooper's boys basketball team goes right down to the wire in its game with Bloomington Kennedy. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. Champlin Park's boys basketball team has a big Battle of Brooklyn Park game Friday at Park Center. The Rebels were shooting for their 5th win in the past 6 games Tuesday night when they hosted Anoka. First half, Josiah Strong zips the pass to Carlston McKenzie for the jam and a 9-2 Rebels lead. Jared Walter knocks the ball loose, then tracks it down, passes to Ben Otto, and he finds Strong for the basket, and Champlin Park is up by 10. Joseph Lombard muscles to the basket and scores for Anoka, cutting the CP lead to 3. Otto answers at the other end with a 3-pointer for the Rebels. He scores 16 points in the game. The Tornadoes go inside to Jake Phillips, and he scores. Champlin Park is up 34-30 at halftime. Second half, Strong to Walter to McKenzie for the big dunk for Champlin Park. Strong nails a quick catch-and-shoot 3-pointer. He leads all scorers with 33 points. Champlin Park wins 75-53. Cooper's boys basketball team has been playing better of late. The Hawks wound up in a tough battle on their home court Tuesday night. Cooper at home against Bloomington Kennedy in Metro West play, and it's a good start for Cooper. Jalen Miller drives to the basket and scores and is fouled. It's 9-3 early. Nathan Hill rips the ball away from the Eagles dribbler, and his dunk attempt isn't pretty, but it drops in for 2 of his 22 points. Miller has a great first half, scoring 15 points. Cooper goes up to 21-11 after that basket. But Kennedy closes the gap. Markel Awney hits the pull-up jumper. The game is tied 30-all at half. And Awney really heats up in the second half. The step-back 3 is part of a 27-point night for him. Terrell Barber drives for 2 and an 8-point lead. Kennedy leads by 11 with just over 4 minutes left in the game. But Cooper storms back. They get the steal and send it ahead to Hill for a layup that pulls the Hawks to within just 3 points. And they complete the comeback as Miller hits a scoop layup to give Cooper the lead for good. With 38 seconds left, Miller scores 30. Hawks pull out a 71-69 win. Maple Grove's girls basketball team is having a very good season. Crimson carried a 9-game winning streak into their Tuesday night game with 7th-ranked Centennial. Head coaches Jill Beckett and Mark Cook talking before the team's Northwest Suburban Conference crossover division game. First half, Centennial's Sarah Stapleton hits the jumper right off the inbounds pass. She scores a dozen points in the game. In transition, the outlet pass comes to Clara Orth. She scores the layup, and the Cougars open up an 11-point lead on the Crimson. Maple Grove cuts into that lead just before halftime. Jordan Lampker's baseline drive for 2 makes it a 7-point game at the half. 28-21 Cougars. Second half, the pass goes into the paint, and the Crimson's Autumn Malinar turns and scores. She nets a game-high 17 points. Becca Tyler steps out and hits a three-pointer from Maple Grove as the Crimson begin to rally. A few minutes later, it's Tyler again, another three-pointer for the senior. The Crimson briefly take a lead. But the Cougars will come back and they'll stay ahead in this game. Taylor McCauley to an open Claire Orth for the baseline jumper. Centennial goes on to win 62-55. Crimson is now 15-4 on the season. The Hopkins girls basketball team is currently playing without the state's best player, Paige Beckers, who has an ankle injury. The Royals faced a tough test against De La Salle Tuesday. The Islanders will take control of this game early. Nora Francois getting to Alexa Cochran-Starr. She hits the three, and it's De La Salle up 16-6. Francois to Nerje Weems. She'll score, and it's an Islanders lead at 21-8. Hopkins does come back. Raina Suggs finds Jade Presley cutting to the hoop. The Royals tied up 27-all. De La Salle continues to play well. Elena Jones swings it across. Francois in the corner for a three. Islanders lead at 35-33 at halftime. Hopkins makes a run. They get it ahead to Suggs for the easy layup. Royals in front, 41-36. Presley to Amaya Battle. She'll fight between two defenders and scores, and the Royals are up by three. Now, De La Salle too much in the end. Mary Claire Francois goes to the hoop here for two, and De La Salle hands Hopkins a rare loss, 67-61. Live boys hockey Thursday night at 7 here on CCX as Wayzata hosts Edina. That's all for sports. Mike, back to you.
All right, John, thanks a lot. Up next, the New Hope Mayor's welcome to Super Bowl visitors. We'll be right back. Well, finally, it may be getting colder outside, but visitors coming into town for the Super Bowl can expect a warm welcome from Minnesota mayors.
I've got the mittens they gave me as part of the package.
New Hope Mayor Kathy Hempkin is dressed for the occasion. She is one of 30 mayors from across the state serving as unofficial ambassadors to welcome visitors arriving at the airport.
I think it's fantastic to be part. It's a volunteer job, of course. I think it's part of that to show the Minnesota nice. And if New Hope isn't anything, we're nice. And I think that's just part to show that we're here to welcome you. We're glad you're here. We're going to treat everybody the same that comes in here.
The actual job for Hempkin and the other mayors is to answer questions to help visitors find their way around. And of course, anybody needs to go to New Hope, the mayor says she will provide them the directions. That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us. See you back here again tomorrow, starting at 4.